had people trying to ban partial birth abortion, so all these women spontaneously showed up with demon faces going, hail Satan, hail Satan. I forgot that. They are
I don't even like to call it partial birth abortion. I think Rand Paul got it exactly right. Will you kill a 7-pound baby? That's what it's about. So it was the bill to stop people from killing 7-pound babies.
And it hurts our conscience and gets us upset that we don't want to kill 7-pound babies. These people act like there's something wrong with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're out there supporting a woman who was worshipped by Adolf Hitler. What is your people's problems? And then they call us racist. I mean, this is insane. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Sha'Carri Jackson. I'm Alex Jones with David Knight. Stay with us. Talk. They're all pibbed out. And they are just there basically saying, F Alex Jones, he hates blacks, he hates women, even though they're almost all white. And the girl that looked like she's half white, half black, just looked like a total zombo. And they won't talk other than cussing. And then they just go around like zombies. Look at that blonde girl. Just looks like a zombie. She's just there shaking her head with hatred, totally brainwashed. Nobody's blocking her sign. InfoWars is anti-women. You know what I love? People actually go to Infowars.com, they'll find the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't get no weapon forms against us will prosper. David Knight, I didn't know that you even tried to adopt a black baby, and your other Christian friends were able to adopt a black sibling group.
Yeah, 30 years ago, they wouldn't allow that in North Carolina when we tried to. They've changed it now. We have some friends back there. They adopted a sibling group. They're white. They adopted a black sibling group. But they told us at the time we went there, they said, well, we don't have any white babies for adoption, and but we do have black babies, so that's fine. We'll adopt a black baby. We don't care. And they said, no, we won't allow that. My wife called the North Carolina Children's Home, and they said, we don't adopt children out of here. What would we do at the orphanage if we adopted our kids out?
And they always say, when I've been at Planned Parenthood demonstrations, mainly racist blacks against their own people, they say, nobody wants these black babies.
Yeah.
And the truth is, there's more people wanting to adopt black babies than there are black babies being killed. And then that would be a way to get people socially mobile, would be to get them out of some of these, bad inner city cultures and help them. But no, we can't have that. And your story is biblical about how you ought to tell it sometime or do a whole piece on it and have your wife in, how you couldn't have kids, but then once you adopted, she got pregnant.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And the thing is that we had tried going to different countries. I mean, the people who are out there who are...
Well, my parents adopted...
Yeah, exactly. The people who would like to adopt kids, they're not hung up on this whole thing about hair color or skin color or whatever. They don't really care. They'll go to Romania, they'll go to China, they'll go to South Korea, but then what happens is there'll be an easing in a particular country, and then they will shut that down because they'll get embarrassed that their kids are being taken care of by Americans who are coming there to adopt their kids, so they'll shut the whole thing down.
Because, yeah, there's been a ban on taking Russian kids out. But, I mean, look at her. She's actually crying. She's such a cult member, and they won't say who they're with. They just wear all black, which is fitting.
Yeah.
Executioners.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sha'Carri Jackson. Sha'Carri, what's happened since we've been talking the last few minutes there at the demonstration?
Okay, so things have really seemed to calm down by and large. The officer kind of chilled everybody out, but we still have people for and against the cause. But, they're more peacefully coexisting at this moment. And so this is the scene right now. We have many more people. How many people you think are here, man? It's a lot more.
30, 40?
30, 40?
30, 40.
30, 40, okay, so 30, 40 or so.
I think it looks more like 50 or 60 if the people are down the road there.
Yeah,
we need more people to get out there, though, especially with the First Amendment being attacked. And we only started promoting this 3 days ago, so good job, everybody.
That little girl was screaming earlier. And they actually believe that we want the babies to live and the mothers to die.
Yeah.
That's what she was screaming earlier. They're just ignorant and they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't understand that every time there's an abortion that happens, the woman is 6 times more likely to have breast cancer. My mother passed of breast cancer. I'm not anti-woman at all. But it's just they're so ignorant and they won't listen to you because they're just screaming racist in your face.
Well, that's pretty much what, a lot of these guys, that's all the argument is. Because the guys like, you guys hate black people. I was in Ferguson where, I got tear gas for people's First Amendment rights.
Right.
But
Sha'Carri, come on. It's obvious that you hate black people.
Yeah, I hate black people every day of my life. Very good. Thank you, sir. So, these are the most ridiculous arguments they have is like, even if you're black, they'll say that you hate black people. If you're a woman, they say that you hate women. They have no argument or real basis in
Absolutely,
reality.
Sha'Carri, stay there. I'm going to come right back to you. We got to go to break from the demonstration, just illustrating what the pro-death side is like. I mean, I knew rats would show up. In fact, I even predicted to do. I said the rat creatures will show up, and they crawl out of a hole. I'll be there by the bottom of the hour, 12:30 Central. right in the middle of the noon hour, and there was a InfoWars magazine burning event by the Communist Action Group, as they call themselves. We're scanning their Facebook right now, but it appears that's this group. So see, just immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just immediately. Scum of the earth, if that's them.
Well, their first choice, Alex, is to completely block speech. They don't.
Let's recap for folks that joined us. Yeah. I forgot to do it. Tell us, David, what we're doing, what's happening.
Well, we've got a demonstration there, basically showing people the hypocrisy of the Black Lives Matter, that they're only concerned about what's going on with police brutality, and we're concerned about that as well. But we're also concerned about the Black lives that have been destroyed by the millions since Roe v. Wade with abortion. And to point out that Planned Parenthood was started by Margaret Sanger, somebody who made it very clear that she was targeting the Black population for extermination as part of her eugenics vision.
Please bring my bullhorn in. Go ahead.
So that's why we're out there to protest. And I had counter-protesters who showed up, if you could call them that. They came out in black suits with black signs, nothing on it. They didn't want to exercise their free speech to try to convince people that abortion was fine, that it was preferable. They had nothing to say. They wanted to stop our speech, with the exception of one that I've seen who came out there and says, Alex Jones is anti-woman, and when Jakari asked her, she just said, you're racist, you're sexist.
Absolutely. Please bring a bullhorn in. I want to test it. I know they've got one of my other bullhorns down there, but just go ahead and bring it in studio.
So what they do is they use ad hominem attacks, they use charges of racism and sexism that are unsupported, but primarily they want to shut down other people's speech, just black it out. That's what they're doing with these signs that are out there.
Keep going, David.
What we saw earlier, and it's a perfect metaphor for the way they operate, is to, and there's the bullhorn you can hear in the background. What they wanted to do was to shut down people's free speech. And so we see them trying to hold black signs in front of other people's signs that have something written on them. And of course, there was a back and forth. My wife and others were trying to put their signs lower and higher. Perfect metaphor for the way they operate. Again, as I said, it's either ad hominem attacks that are not supported or unsupported charges of racism and sexism, and they have nothing to say. Primarily, they just want to shut other people's free speech down.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to shut their free speech down. I'm going to go down there and really talk about what's going on. You take over. I'll be back by the third hour. We'll open the phones up. I got a ton of news over here. We got Rand Paul clips we haven't gotten to yet. We've got congressman saying there is no spying. Rand Paul's lying. I mean, this is just over the top what's going on. But when you get scum of the earth, I don't know what they are, communist, Easter bunnies, whatever they are, showing up, spewing total lies and trying to shut down the First Amendment, it just shows, don't they know how bad they look doing this on TV and radio right now?
Oh, it's a great photo op. I'm glad they did it. It's something that you can use. What they did is actually a metaphor for the way they operate everywhere. As you pointed out, Alex, they try to shut down the internet. They try to shut down free speech everywhere they go. And here you can see it with people having signs, and they want to just take their black signs and hold it up over the other ones.
Yeah, well, I'm coming, rats. All right, take over. I'll be back. Infowars.com. David Knight taking over. I'm jumping in the old Dodge Hellcat and going on down there. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
Mommy, that's the John Wayne of cars. You got to have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us.
This is going to be pretty amazing. Yeah, stay with us because you aren't going to want to miss this when Alex Jones confronts these Marxist people who just want to censor other people's speech. They don't want to make an argument for it because what is your argument? I got to tell you that a turning point for me in terms of abortion, I had bought the argument as a libertarian that this is just about people's choice. We can't agree as to when life begins. And it was what they call partial birth abortion that was really the turning point for me, Alex. That was when I was, I was doing a paper candidacy running for Congress. And people started asking me about partial birth abortion. It was something that was new. And when I understood what it was, that they took a mature baby, as Rand Paul points out, would you kill a 7-pound baby? It just comes right down to that. And if the answer to that is true, then you start to realize what's behind all this. I had not understood what the eugenics agenda was. I hadn't understood that that was really what was behind it. I believe that another thing that has really waken people up is the idea that they can see these babies with what they call 4G ultrasound. 4D ultrasound. They can look at the children. They can see them moving inside the womb. They can see facial expressions. Now, you've seen the National Geographic specials where they take unborn babies of elephants or dogs or other animals, and you can look at the animal inside the mother. You can make out the features. You can see them moving. That is something I think is a very, very powerful thing. That's what the lady was trying to do. Coming out there, they do this on a regular basis. They talk to people who are considering abortion, and they say, do you understand that this is a mature child that you may be killing? Do you understand that there are people out there who would willingly adopt this child and give it a life? It's not going to be a financial responsibility for it. At the same time, Planned Parenthood is trying to tell people that this child is going to cost you an incredible amount of money over your lifetime. They say this is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to raise this child. That is projecting everything back from the future into the current. It really isn't that much of a burden, as we all know. When you add an extra mouth to feed, maybe you don't send the child to college. Maybe you don't make them a debt slave. We haven't sent our kids to college. We haven't encouraged them to go into debt for this. There are certain majors that you might want to go into for college, but, you know, for the most part, having a child is not a financial burden for people. It is a wonderful experience. As a parent, I would encourage everybody to have children, adopt children. Do what you can. That's what we're trying to get people to understand. If they are in a position where they are a single individual, they're young, they can't take care of this child, understand that there are other people out there who are willing to do it for you. That's the key thing, to get people to understand that. I don't know if we have Jakari on the yeah, we do? Okay, Jakari, have you got somebody there you want to talk to? Hello, Jakari. Are you
Yes.
there?
Hello, David.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, we're out here at the scene, and we're going to move around a little bit and talk to the officer. Excuse me, officer. I'm just curious. What's the law? What do we need to do to stay compliant with the wishes of the city?
You stay in between the sidewalk and the telephone poles.
Sidewalk and telephone
Yeah, the
pole.
bank just called. They don't want you on the property. So if you stay in between the sidewalk and the telephone poles, that way you're not blocking the sidewalk. You're not bothering anybody else in other business.
Very good, sir.
Otherwise, go on and do the good things.
Thank you, sir. All right. Nice officer there. So we'll try to stay compliant. If anybody's going to come out here and join us, make sure you stand between the sidewalk and the telephone poles. If you see any pedestrians, try to give them a little bit of space to move around. And
Well, you know, Jakari, Alex is on his way, so he's going to be joining you. And that's going to be your job, to try to keep him in the confined free speech area there.
That's a job I look forward to. Let's talk to your wife, David.
Okay.
All right, come on in. Let's talk. So no. So do you have any questions that you'd like to ask your wife, David?
Yeah, tell us about that guy trying to hide your sign, Karen.
Okay, so he says, tell us about the guy who was trying to hide your sign.
Well, he was abusive verbally, and I do have it on tape. I sent it to you. I don't know if you got it. I don't know what to tell you about him.
I could see her
Just very
holding her
abusive.
sign low when he would go high, and high when he'd go low.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We'll keep moving around. All right. So, as you can see, most people are being compliant here. The officer came in, and look, you see this gentleman trying to hold up his sign, and he's being blocked.
Yeah.
By the tarp.
Perfect example. Perfect example. There's the metaphor for how the authoritarians want to shut down free speech. They don't have anything to say. They know they can't win the argument, so they just want to shut your speech down. They could
That's
make
right.
their own signs, they could make their own arguments, but instead they want to shut speech down because, Jakari, they don't have a way to win this argument.
Yeah. All right. Now, Pete. Now you've been out here for a while. What do you think about it so far?
I love it. I love it because, man, whether the attention's negative or positive, man, the light's on it. The truth is being exposed, and you're either going to have to pick a side or get out the way, man, because you know what? We got to defend the kids. That's really why I came out here, because, man, you know,
And it's all the kids, you know what I mean? Because it's not just the black kids or the Hispanic kids. It's all the kids. You know, I want everybody's kids to have a chance in this world, but we can't do that if we have all these Planned Parenthoods out here doing an abortion. And they'll say to you that abortion is only one aspect of what Planned Parenthood does, which, okay, fine. But if they didn't have that one aspect, nobody would be out here right now.
And, you know, on a spiritual level, this is an attack on children. And if we want to maintain the moral high ground, then we have to stop this. We can't